Coming to you live from a Walmart parking lot and a men's bathroom. This is Thicc Man Inc.
And we are live with your host, Tristan Kilgannon, and ESPN featured athlete, Isaiah Ashley. And we appreciate, hopefully you're coming from the NFC predictions. If you have not seen that video yet, link will be down in the description below. Like the video, subscribe, comment what you think about our predictions, and let's get to move on with that AFC. We're going to start off with the AFC North today for our AFC predictions, and I think the AFC North is the most talented division in the entire NFL with the exception of one team. And rounding out the bottom of the division for me is the Cincinnati Bengals. They are going to be absolutely awful. They have the beige water pistol still at QB, and AJ Green is coming off an injury. And they also lost the enforcer in Vontaze Burfict. The only talent they have left on their roster besides AJ Green is an oft-injured John Ross, who hasn't been anything yet, an aging Geno Atkins, maybe Carlos Dunlap, although he's getting up there, and William Jackson III is okay. And at the end of the day, I have them going 4-4.
You forgot to mention that one fellow, Joe Mixon. He's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, running back. Yeah, Joe Mixon. He's
right. Actually above average in my opinion. But, yeah, with the Crimson Pop Gun as your quarterback in a tough division and with the lack of a defense, I don't see it going anywhere. I've got them sitting at 13, 12, and 1. That's right. I'm predicting a tie. I can do that.
Wait, what'd you say the record is?
Or 3, 12, and 1, excuse me.
I was like, what? 13,
no, they need like 6 years to get 13 wins. But definition of mediocrity there in the Trevor Lawrence and Tua lottery. Keep competing for that, boys. Moving on.
They're definitely going to be drafting a quarterback.
To the 6th playoffs.
So you have two teams making the
3 teams making the
playoffs from this. 3 teams. That's what I just meant 2 wild card teams. I keep messing that up. 2 wild
card teams. I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is going to be the Ben Roethlisberger revenge tour. I think he is going to have a very impressive year. I think Juju Smith's going to take clear steps as a number 1 receiver. I think James Conner is going to regress. I just see that as people game planning a little bit more for him now, since it's pretty clear he's their running back. But the combination of TJ Watt and a bunch of great players on their defense, I think a 9-win season is very attainable. Still not close to the 1 seed in the division, but a winning team to be sure.
I agree with your analysis of Big Ben doing well and the Steelers doing well. I have them getting a few more wins than that, and I actually have a different team as my 3 seed.
Wait.
I have the
never mind. Good.
All right. I have Baltimore as my 3 seed, and I think they're going to have a big year. I think Lamar Jackson is going to be phenomenal this year. Their defense is loaded with talent. Talent all over the place on their defense. We're going to be top 3, top 5 defense. But despite this, they're going to have a 10-6 record and barely miss the playoffs because of a tiebreaker. They could obviously sneak in there with a different tiebreaker, and I just have them barely missing the playoffs.
Well, see, here's the beauty of my ties where they come in, because I have the Ravens making the playoffs as the 5 seed with a 9-6-1 record, actually edging out the Steelers. Not winning as many games in the division as the Steelers. They're going to get past them thanks to a tie with the Cincinnati Bengals. But I think Lamar Miller's going to improve a little bit. Mark Ingram, big sign.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Miller, whatever his name is. Lamar Jackson, the quarterback, is going to improve. They got big signings at running back with Mark Ingram. Alex Collins is still there. You don't need receivers if you're running the ball 90% of the time. Defense is full of elite talent. Signing Earl Thomas is a big deal, even though his legs messed up. But 9-6-1 playoff team. And AFC North putting out both of the wild card teams.
So I actually have them getting a better record, but not making the playoffs.
Yep.
Both my predictions are kind of top heavy, I'm realizing, as far as win totals.
Well, it's okay to admit that you're wrong.
That's not that I'm wrong. I'm just saying they're
right.
a little different.
But moving on, I assume your 2 seeds, the Browns.
My 2 seed is the Steelers.
Oh, man. You were actually right on one. Look at you.
The Steelers no longer have no longer players at their respective positions, but two players that bring a ton of drama to any NFL team. The drama that Le'Veon Bell brought, Antonio Brown brought, is no longer going to exist, and they're just not going to have to off the field nonsense. And they also have high tier replacements in Juju and James Conner, who arguably could both be better than them as far as the production in the next 3 years. Both are older players, so their production might drop off in the coming years. I'm not saying they're going to have better careers. I'm saying their production could eclipse them in the next few years.
Considering Antonio Brown may not play for the next
ever again, that is very likely.
But I think Le'Veon Bell is a clear upgrade, regardless of age, over James Conner.
You keep flipping something back and forth.
Water. I'm staying hydrated, viewers.
And I do not have them winning the division. Obviously, they're my 2 seed because of how much I believe in the Browns, and I have them going 12-4, depending on, obviously, it's 1 game back from my Browns prediction, so they could sneak in there as winning the division. But I think they're set for a very good year this year.
Yeah, I also have the Browns the 1 seed. They have a very decent schedule. It's not horrible, but for how good the team is, it's kind of surprising. But they've got to play teams like the Rams. They've got to play the Ravens twice, the Steelers twice. We've got some rough road games. Got to play the 49ers on the road. That's going to be a long trip for them. They're going to lose a few more games, in my opinion. They're going to be 5-11, but clearly the most talented team in the division, obviously the most exciting. Studs everywhere, young talent. They're good for the future as long as Odell doesn't die on the field and Baker Mayfield doesn't have another police video surface.
I mean, in my opinion, I think they're, as far as defense and offense, both sides of the ball, the most talented roster in the NFL. As far as overall talent, their corners, young with Denzel Ward. They got Greedy Williams. They have Demarius Randall at safety. Other safeties' names eclipsing me.
Jabril Peppers is not there anymore.
No, but there's still another good safety. I can't think of his name right now. It's kind of bothering me. But they have Olivier Vernon rushing the passer. They also have Sheldon Richardson. They have Myles Garrett. So
you almost said Miles Turner.
They have. I did. It was almost time for the Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, lucky for you though, we don't have access to those clips on Anchor, so scraping on by. But we both think they're going to.
But I have them going 13-3 this year. What'd you say you had them going?
I got them 11-5 due to the strength of schedule. They have to play the Rams.
Oh, and the safety's name was Morgan Burnett. Very good, strong safety from the Packers.
How good can he be if he's a Packers defender not named Clay Matthews, though? That's my question.
Well, Clay Matthews isn't very good anymore, but he was very good for the Packers. All right, so moving on.
Going back down south.
And once again, there's a horrible team in the division, and the rest are solid for me in the AFC South. I think the Titans are going to be very bad this season. I think Mariota's continue to be mediocre and disappointing for where he was drafted. I think Derrick Henry will have a solid year, finally owning his starting job. And I think the defense is just going to be meh for me. They're going to be average. And I have them going they're going to go 3-13 for me.
I think that's incredibly unfair. I think you're close. And they're going to come out hot, start the season 4-2. But then Mariota's going to have a Mariota-esque injury, and Ryan Tannehill's going to have to take over. And Ryan Tannehill's not a good quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. We've been asking ourselves if he is for the past 7 years. You know, I know, we all know how hard it's Ryan Tannehill, not a good quarterback. Derrick Henry's not going to be enough to save him. Delaney Walker's washed. Defense is at best meh. I got him going 5-11. Still at the bottom of the division, but a few more wins.
So my 3 seed is going to be the Jaguars. And they aren't being that hyped up by most. They were really hyped up going into last year and fell flat on their face. But I think Leonard Fournette is going to go off this year. He's going to have a phenomenal year. Nick Foles is going slightly above average, maybe just average. Defense led by Jalen Ramsey is going to be above average. And I think the Jaguars are set for an 8-8 average season.
So they're all
Said
above average, but everyone but Nick Foles is
no,
going to be above
Nick Foles
average.
is average.
So they're going to be
well,
average.
the running
as a
back
whole.
and defense, they don't have that much talent at wide receiver. I think that's where they're going to really struggle.
I think you're wrong on that, but at 7-9, I've got the Colts. I think Jacoby Brissett is a very, very real quarterback, but I cannot tell you who's running the ball for them. Their O-line's good, but not great. Good on the pass block. And T.Y. Hilton is a good receiver. Him and Jacoby Brissett, though, do not synergize. T.Y. Hilton thinks go deep, and Jacoby Brissett right now does not have a cannon. I think Eric Ebron's going to have a good year, though. A lot of checkdowns to him. But I don't see the Colts being that great. They're going to be reeling from the loss of luck. They could be better in the future. They'll probably be a playoff team next year, but this year they're 7-9.
I think now I disagree with you on the Colts. The Colts are my 3 seed. And I think the Colts have lost a soldier in Andrew Luck, but I think they'll still be playoff contenders with Brissett. Their O-line is finally very good with the additions they've made. And you said you don't know who they have running the ball, but they have Marlon Mack back there, and he is on the rise. He had over 900 yards rushing last year.
900, wow.
T.Y. is going to be T.Y. He's going to be, once again, a top 10 receiver in the league.
Before you keep going. You're aware that the 1 year in recent memory he's had less than 1,000 yards was the year Jacoby Brissett was playing quarterback.
It was also when the Colts had the worst offensive line in the league, and now they have one of the, I'd say, top 10.
Well, they're not exactly throwing T.Y. Hilton a bunch of screen passes, but...
Well, we'll see. Their defense is very young, and they've got a lot of talent there. The only room for improvement, I think, is their defense, with it kind of coming together more with how young it is, obviously developing. And they're only going to miss the playoffs at 10-6 just because of how good I think the Houston Texans are going to be this year.
I'll just throw this out there. I could well be wrong. Jacoby Brissett could be good enough and actually develop a deep ball and carry this team, but right now I'm not willing to say that year one. I could see it. I'm just not putting my official word behind it. But at a pedestrian 8-8 in my 2 seed, I've got the Houston Texans.
All right, that's interesting.
Lamar Miller tore his ACL. They don't have a running back. They have one of Cleveland's backups in the fold, and that's it. They got DeAndre Hopkins and not much else on the outside, and their defense is one J.J. Watt injury away from having a very, very average defensive line since Clowney's gone. I don't think Watson's going to be able to succeed the way a lot of people think he will be able to, particularly with the loss of his running game and the worsening of the team around him. I think 8-8's reasonable. Bill O'Brien's not a great coach, not a good coach. He's just kind of there. But definition of average to me.
All right.
Deshaun Watson cannot carry this team.
All right, I'll give my opinion on Houston. Why don't you give your 1 seed first, and then I'll talk about why I think Houston.
I got the Jaguars at the 1 seed at 9-7. This is the worst division in football, in my opinion, just because not a lot of great overall team structure. The team with the best structure in general, with a solid quarterback, is going to be the Jaguars. Leonard Fournette is on schedule to have a good year. He's been slowly developing, biding his time. Finally, there are not going to be 12 people in the box to stop him every time with Nick Foles throwing the ball. Their defense is going to be looking to back up Jalen Ramsey's talking. I think the Jaguars are going to go 9-7 and actually secure the 4 seed in the entire AFC. They're going to be a good team.
I have the Houston Texans winning the division, as previously stated, and they always have a good defense as long as J.J. Watt is there. Like you said, defense could be that bad if he gets injured. They did lose Clowney, but in the recent trades made, they finally have a young stud to protect Deshaun Watson in gas mask Laramie Tunsil. He's going to smoke out the opposing defense's line.
Well, I appreciate your puns. You're aware that Laramie Tunsil has been the definition of average, and someone even call him a bust with the 14th overall pick, right?
He has not been a bust. He's been
average.
Good. He's been above average. He's been a good
How
left
many Pro
tackle.
Bowls has he been to?
Not a great left tackle. 0, I think. But I think Will Fuller, if healthy, he was 14, so that's not the hugest bust if you're just above average and solid.
He's meh. How about that? Not great, not
and
bad.
They also got Will Fuller, who I think, if healthy, may even make a run at the Pro Bowl. Him and Deshaun Watson's connection has been ridiculous. It's just Will Fuller can't stay healthy at all, usually. And they also got Kenny Stills, right?
They also have this fella
in the
named
trade.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Well, I mentioned Hopkins already, or if I didn't, obviously best receiver on the team. I was just going over other stuff they have on offense.
I'll ask you, who's running the ball for him?
That is a question for Google.
That's a question for Bill O'Brien in a few days. I don't think he knows the answer right now.
Yeah, that is a big question mark. I have them going 11-5. I think they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, generous in my opinion. But moving on to debatably the worst division in football, it's this with the AFC South. We have the AFC East. Yay.
I think this is easily the worst division in football.
Yay, AFC East, yay. Miami Dolphins, the thing, I'll say it out of them, I've got them going a stout 5-11 just because they always manage to steal a few games.
5 wins?
Listen to me here. They always steal a game against New England. They always do.
You're
crazy.
Listen
to me. I can tell you where 2 of their wins are coming from. They always steal a win against the Patriots. That always happens. They're going to beat the Bills once. They're going to beat the Jets once. And they get to play some baby Charmin ultra soft teams. Like, they get to play...
Like the Giants,
I
guess you're saying.
Play them, but even still... They play the Chargers early in the year. The Chargers are historically not good early in the year. That's got a lot of potential for them to steal. They play the Redskins...
But they're also full tank mode with the trades they've been making recently.
Oh, I don't think they're good and competent enough to go full tank mode. I think 5-11 and get out of the Tua hunt. They're going for the Trevor Lawrence hunt next year.
All right. Well, I do have them as the worst division in the league, as a worst team in the league. I have them winning 1 game.
So what you're saying is you don't think they're going to get the Patriots, beat them once this year?
I have them beating the Patriots
their one
once,
win.
I think. I think so. That's their one
So you
win.
have them losing 4 times to the Jets and the Bills.
Yep.
You have them losing to the Redskins.
Wait, let me just make sure I have them only getting 1 win. I don't want to have the wrong thing flash up on the screen here. I have them, 1 win, 1-15. Oh no, I have them 0-6 in division play.
So you're telling me, against a team which historically loses to them for no reason, the Patriots, the bottom feeder Bills, the bottom feeder Jets, the Washington Redskins, the New York Football Giants, they're not going to win more than 1 game?
Well, now on the Giants, but they have Fitztragic at quarterback. Josh Rosen sitting behind him. Josh Rosen might even be worse than him with the way he's played. And the only other talent they have on their roster is Xavier Howard and Devontae Parker. So
you don't think Fitzmagic coming out of the gate strong is going to at least get him a few wins early?
I might get him 1 win early.
Here's the thing with Rosen. You said yourself in our last video, he had the worst offensive line in football in front of him last year. He was running for his life.
Well, is the Cardinals or the Colts?
Scared. Rosen.
I'm saying
I'd say
the worst offensive line is the Cardinals or Colts.
Worst aligned with a combination.
Not
the worst.
Well, the Colts offensive line was actually good last year, so I just sound stupid now.
You sound stupid most of the time. But the combination of that and a 1-year head coach who got 1 win and then got fired, you have to admit he was in a terrible situation.
He was, but he's also not even starting a year off, and I'm not that confident in them. And you also have Fitztragic, whatever you want to call him.
Well, until he starts not throwing 300-plus yards a game, he's going to be Fitzmagic. Okay. I think they're going to be better than you think. They're a little bit deeper. I will say one of the funniest things I saw in sports recently, the 2019 Miami Dolphins team calendar came out, and 9 of the players featured in it are no longer with the organization.
I didn't see that. That's funny, though.
That's a sign of some upheaval in the organization.
All right.
So moving up 1 spot.
Move on from talking about what I think is one of the worst 3 teams in the league. Now we're moving on. The 3 seed for me is the Buffalo Bills. And I have to admit, Josh Allen impressed me last year. He was a lot better than I expected him to look. I thought he was going to be garbage.
Garbage, pack the can, Boston Yard.
But he still has a lot of steps to make in the passing game. The rest of the Bills team is young, with the exception of Frank Gore, and I think it's highly questionable to me that they chose a 36-year-old Frank Gore over 31-year-old Shady McCoy. I just think they have a lot of room for improvement. I think they're set up pretty good for the future, but I think this year they're going to go 4-12.
I think you're wrong about that, and I could see this is one of the teams, much like the Colts, I can very open to being wrong about. I think they might maybe make the playoffs, but I've got them at 7-9. You're excluding the fact
they are your 3 seed, though?
They're my 3 seed. They have Devin Singletary, I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure how to say his name, who has been incredibly promising. He's the reason LaShawn McCoy got cut, not Frank Gore. Devin Singletary is going to be their starting running back by week 4. Josh Allen continues to improve. Their defense is really, really good, though. Their defense has been reborn. They've got Trent Murphy. They've got Ed Oliver, who I think is going to be one of the best draft picks. They've got Tremaine Edmonds. You got Lorenzo Alexander, Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer. Just a bunch of studs everywhere.
I don't think all those players are studs, but
all those players are well above average. I think quite a few, or at least 2 or 3 of them will be Pro Bowlers.
I just think they're 2 and like another year to 3 years away from being playoff
I
contenders.
Absolutely can agree with you on that. I think 7-9 is fair for now. Though the maturity of Allen, if he becomes a real dual threat quarterback, a Big Ben-esque player, they'll certainly be set.
All right, so moving on to the 2 seed in the AFC East, and I have the New York Jets. The Jets made a big splash this offseason with the signing of Le'Veon Bell, and I think is going to help them in a big way this year. Le'Veon Bell is going to firmly reestablish himself as a top 3 running back in the league. The Jets is going to help the Jets be somewhat relevant. Just like the Bills, they have some holes that haven't been filled and just players that need to continue to develop. So I have them going 7-9, and I also think Darnold's going to have a pretty solid season.
Well, I think you're on crack if you think that Le'Veon Bell's going to reestablish himself. I got him going a pedestrian 7-9. I think this is going to be the year when it starts saying, okay, this Sam Darnold guy may not be the next Andrew Luck. May play longer. But I don't think they're that good.
Small jab.
I don't think.
I mean, we both have them going 7-9.
Yeah, but I think 7-9 is about their peak. Well, we both agree the Bills have in time will develop. Does that seem fair to you?
Yeah.
That, and I honestly, besides Robbie Anderson and Le'Veon Bell, could not tell you who the hell is on their offense in terms of weapons.
Quincy Enunwa.
Like I said, I couldn't tell you.
I only know that because I have a Jets fan friend.
For shame. I will say,
all right.
Gwen Williams, very solid.
Check out the clip.
Very solid. But the number 1 seed, and not quite the number 1 seed, but they're going to be enjoying another first-round bye again. It's the New England Patriots.
So I have my thoughts on the Patriots. I don't think Tom Brady is going to have to carry the load this year. They have Sony Michel, who was very promising last year. Josh Gordon finally is staying off the weed. Edelman, and the defense is always good. I have them. They play in the easiest division, so that always helps them when it comes to what their record's going to look like. I have them going actually 11-5, and I have them as the 4 seed in the conference. But I think they're going to have a good year this year.
The Patriots will start the year 2-2, as per usual, with a loss to the Dolphins and some other team, and then they will lose 1 game for the rest of the year. They have, with the not even talking about Brady and his greatness, Sonny Michel, James White, Rex Burkhead, Darren Harris, Julian Edelman, Demaryius Thomas, Josh Gordon, and Matt LaCoze, I believe I'm saying that right, who is a very promising tight end, as offensive weapons for him. Defense is young and ready to go. I think this conceivably is the best team in football. A lot of people Super Bowl favorites coming into the year. I got them going 13-3.
So 2 more wins than me. I don't think they're going to be quite that good. I
Let
think
me
they're going to lose
guess.
a
You
few
have them
tough
losing
games.
to the Giants.
I can't remember, to be honest. I just
me.
know they're making the playoffs. They're going 11-5 for me. It could be a tough game. The Giants are their kryptonite.
I'm disappointed in you. Not in the regular season. They kick their asses in the regular season, just in the Super
That's just not true.
You want me to consult the tapes, viewers? We will flash the record in their last 3 or 4 appearances on the screen to you. But we don't have the resources to do that now, so we are going to move on to the AFC West.
And AFC West is going to be one of the most competitive divisions in the league. The Raiders have made a lot of moves this offseason. Antonio Brown doesn't look like it's going to be a beneficial one as of right now when we are recording on this Thursday evening.
Made a lot of moves. Some of them aren't good.
With a lot of new pieces, I think it's going to take a while to put everything together, and I have them going 5-11.
See, you're almost. I think you may actually. Yeah, you're right on this one. I do have them going 5-11, but
I'm right on this
they're
one.
the 3 seed. I've got the Broncos.
I'm right on everyone.
I've got the Broncos being worse than them at 4-12, just because it's Von Miller, Philip Lindsay, and Joe Flacco's checkdowns. The Broncos aren't a good team. They just aren't. I think Joe Flacco is going to show everyone and end the elite argument once and for all that he is just going to be so average or so below average, you just can't do anything with him. I think that's going to greatly hurt him. I think Philip Lindsay's going to struggle a little bit with more people in the box than last year. And I don't think Von Miller's going to be able to do anything yet again. They are also, though, in the hunt for Tua.
But, the Broncos?
Mm-hmm. They're not quite the worst team, but conceivably flip a few games, they could be the worst team in the NFL.
I have the Broncos. I think they're going to do a bit better this year. I have them as my 3 seed, evidently. Like the Raiders, I think they're going to suffer from being in the Chargers and Chiefs division as far as wins go. I think they have the best edge defender combo in the league with Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. And I have them actually going 8-8 this year.
You've got them going 8-8. So you think the Chargers and Chiefs are going to have better records than 8-8?
Yes.
Well, I will say this. The Oakland Raiders are a team I may want to walk back from my prediction on a little bit. I made mine prior to the Antonio Brown stuff. What I see is still possible, but it's going to take some phenomenal play from people all over the board. I got them going.
What record do you have them at?
5-11 as the 3 seed, and it's not a good sign when I'm saying it's going to take phenomenal play for them to go 5-11.
Yeah,
that in fact is a very, very bad sign. But I could see them beating the Broncos twice. With my opinion on the Broncos, they're going to get blasted by the Chiefs. I think they could get one against the Chargers because of how consistently bad the Chargers are at various points throughout the year. They also have a Charmin ultra soft schedule and did add real talent all over the board.
Yeah, so I mean, you've been talking some shit about the Chargers, but I think the Chargers are going to be completely fine this year. They're probably going to lack maybe Melvin Gordon all year, it's looking like, but Austin Eckler showed he's a very good replacement with some of the tape he put that out on the field last year. I think they're going to be just as good as it were. They have the Chiefs in their division, so they're not going to win the division. I have them being a wild card team with a record of 10-6.
I got them as my 2 seed, so you're kind of around that one, but I got them
I kind of agree with you, you mean.
I mean, you got it right. They're the 2 seed. They're going to be the 2 seed, but I got them at 8-8, and I'll tell you why. Phillip Rivers is old. The other guys in his quarterback class were Ben Roethlisberger, who's starting to slow down, and Eli Manning, who has slowed down greatly. I think it's about that time Father Time gives him a little tap on the shoulder and says, "Okay, Phil, your time has come. You're going to have kid number 10 and retire." So this is going to be Phillip Rivers' last year, in my opinion. You're going to have an average or worse year. Melvin Gordon's not going to be there. Keenan Allen suffered injury issues. Mike Williams is pretty good. I think Mike Williams is going to have a breakout year. Hunter Henry, Brees Hall, tight end. They signed one of the worst centers in the league with Mike Pouncey to a contract instead of Melvin Gordon. So, hey. But with the exception of Bosa and Ingram, I don't see that much promise on their defense, if I'm being honest.
I mean, I disagree. It's only 2 more wins. 2 more wins are easily lost and easily won. I have them making the playoffs for me, but consensus, both of us agree. Maybe not on the exact record, but I have the Chiefs winning the division. I think they're the best offensive team in the league by far. They have the reigning MVP as their QB, lucked into Hill being eligible this year. Don't really know
We
how that
don't use
happened
the
based
words
off the
luck
tapes.
anymore, so it affects the Colts fans. We got to be considerate.
Oh, my bad. They now have LaShawn McCoy to replace
Kareem Hunt.
some of Kareem Hunt's production. They have more speed on the offensive side of the ball than any other team in the league. Frank Clark and Tyrann Mathieu were big signings for their defense. The defense is still a question mark, but that doesn't matter as far as the record goes because they are going to be breaking records this year with Kermit Mahomes going to repeat as an MVP with a 13-3 record.
Again, almost right. They're going to get 14-2. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to get another MVP conceivably, unless someone we don't see coming comes out of nowhere and sets the league on fire.
Well, maybe Saquon getting the Giants to my prediction of a 9-7 record would warrant an MVP.
I don't know about that one, Slugger. But Patrick Mahomes could be the best quarterback ever. Don't want to jinx and knock on leather, I guess. But Damian Williams, LaShawn McCoy in the backfield, that's a good 1-2 punch. Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Demarcus Robinson, really, really, really good. If Sammy Watkins is your number 2 receiver, you're going to be a good team. Travis Kelce, arguably the best tight end in football with Gronk's retirement. O-line looking incredibly solid. Defense lost a few pieces, which is why I have them losing 2 games. But every single one of their games this year is going to be a light show. And I may well see them falling in the playoffs because that's what Andy Reid teams without defenses do. But for the regular season, they're going to be set. Best record in football, 14-2. Enjoying a nice week off to kick off the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think almost everyone who watches football can agree on the Chiefs placement. For some reason, rounding up our AFC rankings, I have the playoff teams. I have the Chargers being the 6th seed with a 10-6 record. Pittsburgh being the 5 seed with a 12-4. 4 seed is going to be the Patriots with 11-5 record. 3 seed Houston going 11-5. 2 seed is going to be the Chiefs at 13-3. They lose a tiebreaker to Cleveland, I guess, with however the games worked out, and Cleveland is going to be the 1 seed with a 13-3 record.
I think we're getting a little bit too far in the Cleveland hype train. It can't be an underdog story if they're the 1 seed. Also, before I launch into mine,
I'll just
like
how the
you said,
tiebreakers
this is going to
broke
be
out.
The 1 year Brady doesn't have to carry the load, and then you made them worse than they could be, or in a lot of people's opinions. But I have the Pittsburgh Steelers sneaking in at the 6th seed. This could go a lot of ways. Conceivably, Houston could run and steal it from, but Steelers at 6, Ravens at 5. Jaguars at 4, the best run game in the NFL. Browns at 3, creating the true underdog story to come win the Super Bowl. Patriots at 2, Chiefs at 1.
All right. Well, those were our AFC predictions. Again, let us know what you think about the predictions down in the comments below. Like the video. If you haven't checked NFC record predictions already, link to that is down in the description. This has been Thicc Man Inc. Appreciate you for watching or listening.
Yeah, they're not
Same thing.
watching.